We talk crossover in all ramifications. We try to let you in on what's happening in government, what's happening in the private sector, and of course, how we can come together as crossoverians to build a cross-civil state of our collective dream. That's what we keep doing and keep creating the sensitization that is needed in cross-civil state. So today I have a very delectable young woman who has been very, very tenacious about everything she does, all right? And she's a veteran journalist, navigated to politics. I want to hear her story. I think this is one story that everyone out there wants to know about. You know, all of a sudden, she happened to cross the state political landscape, and I want to find out how her experience has been. So we have Dr. Emana Duke live here with us on this edition of Inside Crossover. I want to talk about literally everything. You're welcome to the program.
Thank you.
All right, so let's talk about who Emana Duke is. I know that you're a very pretty person with a pretty face. When we saw your posters for the 2023 general elections, people were like looking at the face. Who is this pretty person? Who is this? It was a sensation across the landscape of cross-civil state and all of that. And we've seen you grow in leaps and bounds and all of that. So, and before we talk about your defection to the All Progressive Congress, let's talk about your experience so far navigating from journalism to politics. How was it? How has it been for you?
Thank you, Beatrice. So I'm going to start from the pretty face. I'd like to state categorically, first of all, that I'm a crossoverian, and crossoverians are beautiful people.
Okay.
So it's interesting. Every time I hear people say, oh, she's pretty, and it's my fellow crossoverians. If I'm not pretty, how else would I be? And I was recently, over the weekend, given another chieftaincy title in Bekwara local government area. God bless the good people of Bekwara. And it's the Tanung Bekwara, the Queen of Beauty of Bekwara.
Bekwara, yeah.
And I said something there. I said, beauty is not skin deep. It's intrinsic. You know, of course, I wish them all things bright and beautiful. But so when you look at the pretty face, imagine all things beautiful.
Sure.
And beauty is solid. It's constant. You know, there's some people who say it's ephemeral, it fades. But, you know, beauty, it lies in the eyes of the beholder. So if you can appreciate it for what it is, you see that it's something that's a solid and a firm thing. So that should also give you an idea of the kind of person that I am. I'm a solid person.
Of course.
Also firm.
Yeah.
So now dovetailing into what you've asked. I won't say I transitioned from journalism or broadcasting to politics. I've always been a political journalist. I've applied my trade, you know, largely in the broadcast field, you know, covering political stories, being on the political desk.
Okay.
So working with politicians, you know, I used to anchor Politics Today.
Okay.
And Sunrise Daily, Sunrise, a couple of programs like that, outside every other thing I did. So it's only natural, actually, that my interest would have been piqued at some point, so that I don't want to play on this other end where I'm interviewing politicians. I actually got really curious, and I wanted to be on the other side to see what it takes, because sometimes when they come on air and they tell us stories, those stories sounded like fairy tale.
Sure.
First-hand experience is what I wanted. And on personal conviction and beliefs, I decided to delve, and it's been worth the while.
Okay.
A totally different world, I must tell you. You know, one of my leaders once told me, what you learn in 3 months as a politician, it could take you 30 years in the classroom, and you would never learn.
Absolutely, yeah.
So the way I see things is totally different now, but it's been a beautiful experience. Okay. And I'm just starting.
All right, so far, what has challenged you the most?
Oh, naturally, when you move into new terrain, even if you've been plying that trade, though from another perspective, when you move into any business, I'm a business person. I like to say it all the time. So there's the politics of business, there's the business of politics, there's also political economy. What has been my biggest challenge is adaptation. Adapting into unfamiliar territories. Being in the newsroom or in the studio is different from being on the field, where you have to put on your boxing gloves and get to work. So it's adaptation, but I think I've been doing a great job. Okay. There's still a lot to learn. Every day you see new things.
Sure.
But So far, so good.
All right, so we have a lot to talk about. There's a whole lot to talk about because I'm very inquisitive, so I really want to learn. I really want to know a lot. But then let's go to that decision for you to leave Lagos, and then make it come back to Cross River. What informed that decision?
Okay, so I had left my job at Channels Television and actually moved back to England.
Okay.
At a point, to pursue certain self-developmental tasks.
Okay.
So I had like an eureka moment. I'm an astute believer. I carry my faith in God as a badge.
Okay.
So I would say boldly, I listened to God, and God asked me to come back to Cross River. I say it everywhere. Anybody who follows my story keenly will tell you that. And if you love your people so much, because one of the things that used to bother me so much was, okay, you come from this state, and at some point there was a lot of bad press. They would laugh at me, my friends would laugh at me, my friends would laugh at me in the newsroom, my colleagues would laugh at me, and it's like, oh, your state is always white elephant projects, so much bogus stories happening and all of that. That was not the initial time, 5 years ago, that was not the initial time I had come back. I was always around one way or the other, though not fully integrated into the system. So 5 years ago, I had that eureka moment, and like a soul light bulb came up in my soul, and I said, okay, go home. Don't be an armchair critic.
Okay.
Go and be part of the building process. So that's the beginning of my journey.
All right.
And I've not looked back since.
All right, so you came back to the state and picked PDP. What also informed your choice? Okay, you didn't just come into the scene and then maybe decide to start small, but you started as an aspirant of deputy governorship aspirant, right?
So I ran for House of Reps. So a lot of people think my run for deputy governorship was my entrance into politics. No. And I was a frontline runner for the House of Reps seat. And interestingly, but for political correctness, there are certain things one is not going to say on camera. For the first time in history, a human being stood an election against an incumbent who had been there for 20 years and was not ready to go anywhere. As I said, for political correctness, I'll be measured. And there were other people who were in the race, major political players, former NDDC commissioner, a couple of other big heavyweights. And a lot of people thought I was paperweight. I wasn't paperweight because I came with full force. Okay. And in as much as there was a lot of political scheming because I had been asked to stand down, but I wasn't going to stand down because I didn't have a political sponsor. Every money I was spending... It was
a personal funds. Wow.
I say it with all boldness. If anybody has given me money to run politics, they should come out. I put my money in, even up until the deputy governorship run. I spent my hard-earned money. So I was first runner-up for the House of Reps position against an incumbent who had been there for 4 terms and wanted to go for a 5th term. So that was my entry point. Then after then, because of my showing and how much followership I had garnered by God's grace, if not by my power or how much money I had to spend, there are certain people who just loved me. They said, oh, she's bold. She came from arguably nowhere. And she's female. If she could be this steadfast and determined, they're going to rally support for her. I even had people who were in the other party who were rooting for me and encouraging me. So that's how I entered into politics. Then the deputy governorship run came, plus or minus. Okay, well, we're looking for someone. Who do we have? They wanted someone from the South. Who do we have in the South who had good following? And that's how I became deputy governorship.
Okay, so they wanted a female specifically, or they just wanted someone with a clout?
I did not sit in the room. I wasn't sitting in the room when that decision was taken. I was lying in my bedroom when I received the phone call.
Okay.
So it's not something I lobbied for.
Okay.
So definitely in politics, like I told you about the business of politics, the politics of business, people have their calculations in place before they take decisions. So if they took that decision, definitely it was because I had political value.
Okay.
So that's it.
Okay, so within that short time, what would you say you did differently that gave you the political clout that you had?
Okay, I'm going to answer that. You asked why the PDP, when I came.
Yeah.
So one of the reasons the major reason why I joined the PDP when I came, I didn't just join the PDP. I'm from a political family.
Okay.
You know, so from 1998, 97, 98, you know, before our first democratically elected.
Yeah.
No, not
Donald Duke, right?
Yes, Donald. Before Donald came on board, you know, I was actively involved in politics because my father and my mom,
Okay.
you know, have been involved in politics. My dad was in Donald's cabinet, and so PDP was like a religion in Cross River State.
Sure.
So it's only normal that I had come back and I didn't have a hang of things. You know, the APC government, the governor at the time, our governor, Governor Ayade, had just defected to the APC. And how was I going to get a foothold? Political calculation and strategy would tell you that the best place to pitch your tent for visibility would be to go to the PDP at the time. Because what they say, join the queue. The queue in the APC was
really too long, yeah.
How was I going to penetrate?
Sure.
So that was that. And what have I done differently, you know, to garner such followership or to make myself visible? I believe that's what you asked.
Yeah.
I've just been my authentic self.
Okay.
I've just been my authentic self. Prayerfully calculative, humble, and curious.
Okay.
Because when you go somewhere, you cannot know a house more than the people who live there. So when you want to succeed, when you go to a place, you try to listen, you watch, you learn, you make mistakes along the line. You quickly try to catch up. So I've just been my authentic self, eager to learn, most importantly, eager to serve.
To serve, yeah.
And see my state work.
That's interesting. So if you're just joining us, this is Inside Cross River. We've had the privilege of interacting with Dr. Emana Duke, and of course, we are talking politics, the politics of Cross River State, of course, what it is like and what it feels like, and what are the strategic calculations you need to put in place to be visible, not just visible, to be strategically positioned in the scheme of things in the political space of Cross River. All right, so let's go into your decision to defect to the All Progressive Congress. You know, because I would say that you were welcomed and, of course, taken into the inner caucus of the PDP. So what then informed your decision for you to move to the All Progressive Congress?
I must laugh at that question.
Yeah.
The question I asked, I'm not going to commonize being a deputy governorship candidate for a major party like the PDP at the time. It's not ordinary, it's a big deal. But I'll ask, if a sitting governor can defect, if a presidential candidate or a vice presidential candidate can defect, by all means, who am I not to choose freedom of association and ability to pitch my political
So there must have been a reason. What's the reason?
Wherever I want to. Well, this is what I tell everybody. You cannot be a politician when you have no platform to practice your politics. What's the essence of being a politician? You want to apply your political trade. So when you are in a failed party, or a party that is divided against itself and is doing everything to implode, it's either you abandon ship and you seek safety, or you die. So how would I begin my political journey? You know, I'm just starting off by God's grace.
Yeah.
And then I would be the architect of my own implosion, or, you know, be partner with pulling myself down politically. Political parties are just vehicles.
Sure.
When you board a vehicle and it breaks down on the road, do you abandon your trip? Do you stop going on to your destination? No, you come down, you board the next available vehicle. The goal is where you're getting to. And for me, it's service.
Okay.
I want to partner, I want to be part of seeing Cross River great again. You know, Cross River has so much potential. Whatever little expertise I have, whatever little wisdom God has given to me, I want to apply it not just internationally or for other states. I want to have part of my testament as, oh, I did this in Cross River too, no matter how small. If not, posterity will not judge me fairly.
Sure.
So that's it.
All right, so still on Inside Crossover, I'm beginning to enjoy this conversation. You talked about the reason why you had to defect to the All Progressive Congress, but my next question would be, a lot of people have told me in my interaction with them that they left the PDP because of lack of internal democracy. Could that be your reason? But, the same party that received you and then gave you the opportunity to be the deputy governorship candidate and aspirant and all of that, what went wrong?
Nothing went wrong.
Okay, so at what point did the party become uninhabitable?
The party did not become inhabitable.
Okay.
Those are words you're trying to put in my mouth. So I beg to differ.
Okay.
So the party did not become unhospitable or inhospitable.
Okay.
Rather. Politics is about interest.
Okay.
I never told you I'm not friends with the people in
the PDP.
When I was in the PDP, in my house, I received APC people as friends. We do not need to agree on our political ideologies.
Okay.
So it gets to a point where I do not agree with you. So internal democracy, definitely, when I talk about implosion, what's an implosion? It means you cannot even put your house together. So if you can't put your house together, something is wrong. Doesn't mean I hate you. Doesn't mean... So I was at the airport earlier and I saw someone, and which as I regularly we run into ourselves. Calabar is quite a small space.
Yeah.
We meet ourselves even outside Calabar. We hug ourselves. If I had a good relationship with you before, would say hello. So we are not enemies. I do not agree with you politically. That's it.
Of course.
And then if you choose to make me your enemy, be my guest. I never said you were mine.
Okay, so you sound very ready, and I'm very excited that this firm on your ideologies are also. It looks as if you know where you are going, and of course you are getting there already. But then let's talk about other critical issues. We've seen women in the political scene go through a lot of biases. We've seen a lot of stereotypes being held against women. Let's use Natasha, for instance, Senator Natasha. And then we saw what played out and all of that. Some people said she couldn't control her temperament. Some people said it was a deliberate setup and all of that. For you, have you experienced any form of, I don't know how to classify it. Have you had such challenges where you were intimidated, or maybe you were tried something that forced you to shrink to what you are not? Have you had those kind of experiences so far in the political scene?
Generally in life, even though the numbers tell us differently, the reality of life shows us that women are a minority. You see what I said? The numbers tell us otherwise, statistics-wise. But when it comes to actual play in the arena, where things matter, where decisions are taken, our voice sometimes is stifled. So it doesn't have anything to do with politics. We may be playing in the political space, so we are talking politics. And then when it comes to leadership, governance, politics, so then, the issue of women, but it's everywhere. Even in the families, that's where the challenge comes from, the biases, the stereotypes. The sister is in the kitchen with mommy cooking, while the brother is out with his friends playing. So these things are ingrained from childhood. They're not just ingrained from childhood, culturally and societally. There are things that even women begin to imbibe in themselves because they've been made to believe they are lesser beings. When you know yourself, that's where mentorship
comes
for
in,
our women needs to come to play. You said, have I ever been intimidated? I would rather rephrase it to has there been an attempt?
Okay, an attempt,
to intimidate me? Or have I suffered attempts at intimidation? Of course. The question or the answer I should give you is, have I been intimidated? It's your right to try to intimidate me. It's also mine to
refuse
or respond, to refuse to be intimidated. So I know who I am. I may be female. I am female. But it doesn't make you superior.
Okay.
I defer to authority. So I know when to stoop, to conquer. That's different from subjugating myself for every man out there and silencing my voice. No, that's not what it means. Whether my boss is female or male, I should know how to comport and conduct myself in the public.
Sure.
So that I can be taken as a serious
Person.
human being.
Yeah.
So these things happen everywhere. It's how much doctrination or indoctrination a woman is given and we give to the girl child that matters. So it's one of the things that I'm big on, ensuring that women have their voices heard. The younger generation, I have daughters, and I'm raising champions by God's grace, as I am a champion. Not in an arrogant sense, but why should God's creation be considered
inferior? Absolutely.
So that's the mindset that we need to have.
Okay.
So there will surely be attempts at every point in time. But how you also comport yourself under pressure will determine how seriously I take you. So that's my position.
So basically, women need to learn social intelligence.
Emotional intelligence, social intelligence, and then generally understanding how to thrive under pressure, how to work within teams, and how to work unsupervised.
Sure.
With these basic life skills.
Sure. I like that. All right, so if you're just joining us, this is Inside Crossover. So let's talk about other women, right? Who have, and by now you have a lot of role models. A lot of people who see you as their role model, rather. The people who are maybe in the political scene already, who wants to aspire to grow, to attain the level you are, and all of that. You just came in, considering the space in which you came into the active politics, and how seriously you have been taken. Because we know those who have been taken seriously, affiliation is obvious, and those things don't hide and all of that. What were those things that you did as a form of personal development to achieve this level where you are?
Okay, number one, I'm a reader.
Okay.
If you do not read, the black man doesn't like to read. There's a popular saying that if you want to hide anything, hide it in the book.
In the book.
I absorb information outside traditional books. Of course, I have a library. I love books, so that's one of the things I love.
Okay.
Books. Well, I absorb information. I learn from everybody, from my environment. And it doesn't matter if you're up there or if you're seen to be the lowest in society. I watch people closely. One of my hobbies is people watching.
Okay.
So I could sit. I tell people, they say, what do you mean by people watching? I say, don't worry, you would understand. So I could sit at an airport or in a park or anywhere, and I'm watching. In 30 minutes, in 10 minutes, you'll be surprised how much you learn just by observing.
Yeah.
And it's a skill that comes from the ability to quiet the noise in your head. That's the same skill you need to be a good listener.
Sure.
Because if you can't listen, there's a lot of chaos going on there. So you listen, not just listening to hear with your ears, you listen to body language. Sometimes you listen with your eyes.
Sure.
You watch, but you're actually absorbing. So for me, that's more or less what it's been. So for those who are looking up to me to say, oh, active politics, it's been 5 years now, 5 years plus, it's so quick and all of that, but every day you have to learn.
Sure.
You must be humble. You can't be a know-it-all. You have a lot of young people who don't want to follow or serve. Let me not say follow, who don't want to serve. You can't be a successful leader if you do not understand service. And how can you serve? You can only serve successfully when you have the ability to understand. How do you understand? Patiently watching and listening. So in whatever context you want to interpret all of this to mean, that's just it for me.
Okay.
I see good things, I want to imbibe, and I see the ones that are not so good, and I caution myself and say, be careful.
Sure.
That's it.
All right, that's interesting. So what is the bigger picture for you? All right, so we will see you very tenacious in followership, in your presence. I know they say absence creates value, but too much absence removes you from the scheme of things. So you've been very present so far and all of that. So one would ask, what is the bigger picture for you as a politician?
I'm a farmer. I live in Cross River State. I'm from Cross River State. I have every right to come and go as I please. Let's start there. So people should stop all of this conspiracy theories. Oh, Emana is always around. Why won't I be around? I'm a Calabar princess. I need to be at home. I'm a woman.
Okay.
I come home. I enjoy my state. And the governor has made things better for all of us. There's more security. There's quietude. What better place than to be? Whenever I run out of the state, I want to come back quickly. But bigger picture, everything begins and ends in service.
Okay.
Whatever you make of it, it's all by you. I'm serving my people. I have a farm in Akbabuyo, a palm estate.
Okay.
Where I go and enjoy myself. Now I can go. Before I couldn't go because the fear of being kidnapped.
Of course.
Thank God for sweet drinks. Now we can go and come. I take one day at a time, but for each day I take at a time, making sure I'm improving on myself and adding value.
All right, so we can't talk about aspirations now, or would I say is there any aspiration for 2027?
Power comes from God.
Okay.
While I am carefully being myself, serving my people as best as I can, and making sure that in whatever way I can, I bring positive visibility, good press to my state. And in any way I can make the work easy for my governor, which is what I'm doing in every way possible. Whatever way I can, even if it's going out to talk to people, outside the states, being a beautiful and proud Cross Riverian. Now, where do you come from? I'm a Calabar girl. That one is, Calabar people find like, yes. That you want to come to like the Bata market in my local government that's all over the news. Now, I say my local government, my village is in the news. So that's also making the work easier, also showcasing what His Excellency is doing, security-wise, which is good for investors. It drives investors' confidence. So while I'm doing all of that, power comes from God. If at any time God deems me worthy to take on anything, to fit in any space, to get more visibility, or to represent the people at a global space, whatever. That's between God and I, and when that time comes, the time will come.
Of course.
But as of now, it's one day
at a time. I like that. All right, so this is Inside Cross River. It's been very thought-provoking. I want to say that you're a good role model to a lot of young people out there. But before I take your last words, I would like your analysis of the political landscape of Cross River, putting in mind the pulling down syndrome, per se, because it's actually happening here. This analysis, is very important for a whole lot of people out there. What is your personal opinion of the political landscape of Cross River?
So, a few years ago, I used to have a footer at the end of my email, so I need to put it back. There's room enough at the top, something like meet me there. There's more room at the top. An idle mind is a devil's workshop. So when we have a lot of political jobbers, things like pull me down syndrome, the crab syndrome happens. But when people are gainfully employed, when people are busy, and they understand that there is enough room, the sky is big enough for every one of us to shine. I can only be me, Beatrice can only be Beatrice. I can't do what Beatrice is doing. I cannot be you, just as you cannot be me.
Sure.
So when I have that understanding, I will allow you shine in your space. So we see that pull me down syndrome happening, where people think you want to take what is mine, or I want to gatekeep. I don't want another person to come in, and all of that.
Even if I cannot do it, don't do it.
No other person should do it. Hopefully, things are getting better.
Okay.
Why do I say so? there's a lot of empowerment going on. You know, people say, oh, empowerment is not good enough. But I tell people that when you want to bring in industries and you want to drive economic development, while you're working on infrastructure development and infrastructural development, you need to take care of the stomach infrastructure.
Sure.
Because hungry people don't understand anything about industries or investors coming from all over the world. When they are dying, they are going to pull. I'm going to make sure that I run every other person aground. So hopefully things are becoming better, because there's a lot that the governor has been doing, not just the governor, his wife.
Yeah.
The first lady is one of the first ladies that I've followed closely. She's someone who's really dear to my heart. Not because I'm in the All Progressives Congress today. In fact, one of the reasons why I am in the All Progressives Congress today is because of how dispassionate and detribalized she is. You know, so there's a lot of empowerment going on. So while the projects are ongoing, while investors are being sought out, people need to eat.
Sure.
When people have enough to eat, there's a lot of distraction from all of this petty bickering. I'll say it in my language, and I'm going to say it in English. Emana this Emana, where did she come from? Where was she before? Those of us who suffered before.
Exactly.
Now Emana has come.
That is the narrative. Sure.
So, when we understand that Emana is my sister, she's not coming to push you out. She's not coming to take your food. Emana is in her lane. So I'm using myself as an example.
Sure.
You know. So this is general for every Cross Riverian. Let your brother be on his lane. Common agenda is Project Cross River. Like our sweet prince, our governor, His Excellency Basile Dutu says, the people first agenda. So if you understand that it's Cross River first, people first, whatever it is Beatrice is doing, so long as it's favoring Cross River, I should let Beatrice do it. Whatever Emana is doing, so long as it's positive for Cross River, please allow her. Then I would concentrate and collect the empowerment the governor is giving me in whatever format, and also make sure that I allow it trickle down to the other people, you know, and I don't try to gatekeep, because at the end of the day, it's something that our children, the generations, will enjoy. So it's there. The pull me down syndrome is there. So hopefully we are on our way, even if we are not there yet. Hopefully we are on our way with you bringing this up, with me advocating against it, and with all what the governor and every other person is doing. Hopefully we are on our way out. And within the political ranks where this is happening, simple, the sky is big enough for everybody to shine.
Still on Inside Cross River, I've had a swell time. I've learned a whole lot. You know, when I hear the stories of people, I begin to put myself in that position to tell myself what I need to do differently to be the best version of myself. So still on this particular episode, I want to also talk about your personal opinion on the Senator Prince Basile Dutu-led administration. Everybody has an opinion. What do you think? Because you've started by saying he's done well. He's done well in what ramifications? Specifically, please. Okay,
so before I joined the All Progressives Congress, as a core Cross Riverian, and then as a core Cross Riverian who was the running mate of the opposition governorship candidate, I watched with keen interest the work that was ongoing in the state by the governor, Governor Basile. One of the first things I noticed was his willingness to work with young people. It fascinated me. I said, oh wow. So he doesn't want to keep the old political style of running the government, where the political dinosaurs who had been there
prevails.
Time
immemorial, yeah.
Whether they know the job or not is not the problem, because most of the time they may know the job, but doesn't mean they are the only ones who can get the job done. And if they don't let the younger generation do, how would we ensure that our young people are growing into those leadership positions, you know, for generational, for legacy's sake?
Yeah.
So it fascinated me that he was willing to work with young people. That was number one, first stick. I said, great. And then, as best as he could, key positions, I checked the resume of some of those key positions, and I said, oh, not bad.
Yeah.
I had met the Attorney General. The first time I actually met the Attorney General was in court.
Okay.
And we talked. He's my brother. We exchanged pleasantries. That's why no matter what you do in politics, understand that politics is a game. Don't hate the player.
Sure.
You could hate the game. We had a good conversation, and I said to myself, brilliant young man. And a few other people I knew. So, FESTIC, youth inclusion. Then, trying as best as possible to fit the right pegs in strategic positions. So, the first set of appointments came out before all the extras. You would scrutinize, and you would find out that even if you didn't like the person on a personal note, you could not actually contend with the resume of that person, because the person who fit that role can get the job done. It was a right fit.
Sure.
Then moving on. Security is big for me. I'm a trade and investment expert. If there is no security in a place, there is no investors' confidence.
Sure.
So you want to drive any economy, tackle the issue of insecurity.
Sure.
He's been doing a good job in that direction. I told you I'm a businessman. If my farm, I can go now and we're making money, it means it's doing well. And I'm not the only one smiling to the bank. Other people are doing that. So outside security, which is number one, he's opening up the space. Cross River is on the map again.
Okay.
It's still work in progress. So when you say, I said he's done well, yes, doing well is relative, because political pundits are going to come and say, oh, she's being biased. It's understandable. I have to be biased. Number one, I'm a Cross Riverian. If I cannot portray my state in good light, I think I should keep quiet if I'm not adding any value. But this is not playing to the gallery. He's actually opening up the space, the maritime sector, abandoned projects, with issues of the seaport, the airport. I was at the airport earlier today, with the aircraft. And then our IGR, when you follow closely and you see that he's short, under his administration, IGR has gone up.
Yeah, tremendous improvement.
Tremendously. And then if we can acquire aircraft without foreign or even domestic borrowing, it's from IGR. That's something that needs to be studied. What's the model he's using? So I would give him a pass.
Okay.
Work in progress. There's always room for improvement. The agricultural sector is giving special attention to, and agriculture is the future. So my governor is doing well.
Okay.
I can assure you.
I like that.
There's a lot of improvements to be done.
Okay.
But he is doing well. And he's transparent. He's not, all his work is not shrouded in secrecy. You can ask, you will see.
That's interesting. So moving into 2027, there will still be follow-up interviews on critical leaders. Of course, we'll definitely come back to Dr. Emana Duke to talk to you more about the narrative, the theories, the permutations in our landscape and all of that. But for today, I want to say thank you for the access. We are super excited to do this. So what will be your message now to the people of Cross River who are watching? First of all, to the women. Women, not just women on the street, women in politics. What's your message to them and the rest of Cross River?
Well, I like to tell the women, my primary constituency, hold fast. Don't dim your shine. Persevere. It may not have looked well. It may not have seemed right in the past. It seems like we've been forgotten. But you see, even when you feel like you are forgotten, when push comes to shove, it is who stayed that counts. So those of us that have gone back to our houses, please let's come out. And then let's not gatekeep. Let's open up our arms, let's open up our doors, share our knowledge, share our money with the younger women who also seek to occupy those spaces, and then let's conduct ourselves properly. Because when we do not conduct ourselves properly, what examples do we really have to set? Then for Cross Riverians, please believe in Cross River, project Cross River, think Cross River, move and breathe Cross River. It doesn't matter if you're from the north, the central, or the south. If you're a Cross Riverian, you're a Cross Riverian, you're my brother, you're my sister. That should be our mindset. When we have that unity of purpose, then we can move any mountain before us. Cross River first. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you very much. All right, so this is how far we can go, and I'm very, very excited. Like we keep telling you, this is not a period to be reactive. This is a period to be proactive. Put your best foot forward as a Cross Riverian. Support the Senator Prince Bassey-led administration, because building a Cross River state of our dream requires a collective involvement. My name is Akpala, and the program is Inside Cross River. Please stay positive and defend the integrity of Cross River State. Bye-bye.